Hello fellow cyborgs, and welcome to my final video in the A Lot Beatrix Potter series, where I tell you about books that I recently read during my mini obsession of Beatrix Potter. Today, my mysterious title, Art and Mystery, refers to two works that I also read in my Beatrix Potter journey. One is a Beatrix Potter mystery, a fictional mystery with Beatrix Potter as a character, I know. Sounds too good to be true. And the other is The Art of Beatrix Potter. So let's start with that one. As you can tell, this is a coffee-sized art book, The Art of Beatrix Potter. It includes images of her watercolors and sketches, and also photographs of first editions of her works, as well as photographs taken of her by mostly her father, Rupert. There is quite a bit of text in here. Most of the text is by Emily Zach, but there is a foreword by Stephen Heller, an introduction by Linda Lear, and an afterword by Eleanor Taylor. This is organized by geographic location. Within the geographic location, for the most part, it's organized chronologically, but for instance, the final section in here, which has to do with Wales, kind of jumps back in time after we'd already kind of learned about the end of Beatrix Potter's life. I really enjoyed reading this as a companion to the more intense biographies that I had read about Beatrix Potter, specifically the one by Linda Lear, because this showed some of the images that weren't able to be included in that biography that really brought some of the people and places to life for me, already having that knowledge under my belt. I think you could read this if you were really just interested in Beatrix's art and wanted just a kind of sense of biography, because there is enough text in here to let you hit like the really important points in her life. But I don't think that if you want a really good grasp of who Beatrix Potter was and what she filled her life with, that this would fill that for you. This is full of many different beautiful illustrations. There are a lot of sketches, like background sketches for the different tales that she did and the different places she visited. There's also quite a collection of fungi illustrations during her 7-year obsession with mushrooms. So like I said, this really brightened up and well-rounded out my time with Beatrix Potter, getting to see those final images that I had heard referenced or read references to, and finally actually getting to see them, and just kind of understanding Beatrix's relationship with nature a little bit better with all of the different sketches and views that she was able to experience in her lifetime. So like I said, if you are really into Beatrix Potter like I got into over these last few weeks, or if you're only interested in her art and only mildly interested in her biography, I highly recommend that you check this out. It is really well worth getting your hands on. And finally, the mystery. This is The Tale of Hilltop Farm, the first in the Cottage Tales of Beatrix Potter series by Susan Wittig Albert. Natalie from A Curious Reader told me about this series. There's this one section in the Linda Lear biography where she says that Beatrix Potter was a natural detective when she was having issues with sheep being stolen from the farm, and she was able to look at the land and try to figure out what happened. We joked with ourselves, like, what can't Beatrix Potter do? Of course, she's also a detective. And Natalie said that there's actually a series where Beatrix Potter and her animals help solve crimes, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I need to know what this is all about. So fortunately, my library had a copy, and I got on this and read it, and it was so delightful. I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. It is definitely a cozy mystery, and I would have to say that this is more the life in near Sorry, the village that Hilltop Farm is a part of and that Beatrix Potter moved to in the second half of her life, more than a strict mystery. This story itself has 3 mysteries, 3 different things go missing, but the joy in here is just kind of getting a sense of this fictionalized fantasy of what living in the Lake District was for Beatrix Potter. There's quite a cast of characters in here, and the bulk of them are completely fictional. So while there is a lot in here that really showed me that Albert really did do her research and had a good background of all of the facts of Beatrix Potter's life, she in no way is trying to pass this off as historically accurate. It's more like she'll give you historically accurate information almost as Easter eggs for the people who know a bit more about Beatrix. So the bulk of the characters in here are fictional, but they were so incredibly delightful, and I loved this overly sentimental, overly very emotional sort of fantasy that was really absent in the biographies. This talks about Beatrix Potter's grief and her emotions over being a dutiful daughter to very demanding, unsympathetic parents in ways that the primary sources of letters and journals really didn't provide in the biographies I read. So this really brought Beatrix to life for me, like kind of imagining how she would move and how she would talk and how she would interact with people interpersonally, rather than just knowing the facts of her life and appreciating her for what she did. I also really enjoyed the fact that the animals can talk in this book. They can't talk to humans, but they can talk amongst themselves, and we as readers are privy to their conversations. And I think that this, even though it could potentially get ridiculous at times if you're intolerant of this choice, it connected to the whimsy and the anthropomorphism of Beatrix Potter's stories and just kind of brought that thematic element to this cozy mystery about village life. This also tackled some subtle themes about like modern women and people looking down on that, about when you have a loved one who is aging and losing mental faculties. Overall, it surprised me so much of how just delightful this reading experience was. It was so incredibly cute, and like I said, the fantasy of Beatrix Potter and her life at Hilltop Farm, I love how this just brought that part of her life to life for me after reading more detached works all about her life. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and if I was not trying to get my TBR down, I would just launch into book number 2 of this series. I really want to continue on with this series. I think it will just be cozy and adorable and just really just soothing and relaxing sort of reading experience. So here are 2 more 4-star reads related to Beatrix Potter. Please let me know in the comments down below if you had to choose one of them, which you would be more likely to check out. Do you know what cozy mysteries are? Because I was talking with Natalie and Emma, and I said, like, is cozy mystery just like the tone of it, or is it the fact that it's not gruesome, or is it the fact that it's more about it's half about the people and half about the mystery, as opposed to 75% of the book's point is the mystery and only 25% is the character? So if you have a better grasp on what a cozy mystery actually is, please enlighten me in the comments down below. Thank you for watching me talk about Beatrix Potter for 3 videos straight. I hope you have enjoyed them, and I hope that you do pick up something by or about Beatrix Potter in your future at some point. Thank you for watching, and until next time, continue to be lovely.